This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
You're listening to the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. And now, here's your host, Lisa Rangel.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the 38th episode of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast. I'm Lisa Rangel, host of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast and founder of Chameleon Resumes. We're an executive resume writing, LinkedIn profile development, and job search consultancy firm that helps executives and high potential leaders land their next position faster. I'm amazed we're doing this on the 38th episode. This is awesome. Thanks for joining me today. And on today's podcast, we're going to review 5 simple ways to find 9 hours of job search time per week. And you can use this to advance your career as well. So even if you're not in the market for a job, you can use this time to develop your network and stay connected. I mean, do you find yourself asking these questions? How am I supposed to look for a job when I'm employed or I'm working? How am I supposed to advance my career? Or I've heard people say finding a full-time job is a full-time job and I already have a job. So how am I supposed to juggle all this? These are familiar questions that I hear from job seekers and from individuals even happy in their career, and they want to do the legwork that we're talking about on this Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, but they just don't know how to find the time. It's a perplexing dilemma in today's world of overscheduling, multitasking, and uber achievement. Would you like to find 9 hours of job search or career management time per week? I'm going to guess yes. You're going to want that time. So I have 5 ways that I have personally time tested and my clients have time tested to generate at least 9 hours per week that can be used towards a job search or career advancement. And when these tactics are consistently employed and they're diligently put to use, you will get this time back. Are you up for the challenge? All right, well, here goes. The first one is to shut off all the notifications on your smartphone and your computer. This alone helped me gain 2.5 hours in a week minimum. Yes, you heard me. Shut off the phone notifications. I think a few of you may need a defibrillator after hearing this statement, but I'm telling you, do it. Stat. It's not as easy as it sounds either. For me, it was a multi-stage process with my iPhone that took me a couple of weeks to fully complete. I'm not embarrassed to say that. First, I thought if I simply just turned, the notification center off for a particular item like email or Facebook, that boom, the notification was off, it was taken care of, and I would no longer receive notifications. Oh no, there is more to do. In addition to that, I figured out I had to turn off the alert style, because without that turned off, I was still getting the banner alerts. And then I had to turn off the badge app icon, because if I didn't turn that off, I'd still receive the icon pop-up notification number that tells me how many notifications I have on the badge on my phone. So, and if I saw the badge, it would send my notification addiction, back into a frenzy. So only after I realized all of these steps that had to be taken for every app and function on my phone, only when I did all those for all those apps did I stop receiving notifications. And the elimination of constant distractions has saved me approximately 10 seconds from reviewing each notification that I would receive. And on average, I would get about 150 notifications per day, conservatively. So this, when you multiply that out, it's about a 2.5 hour savings per week. Insane, right? You'd think these little interruptions, it's a second here, 5 seconds there, 10 seconds there, that it's really not a big deal. But when you think of the fact that you still have to mentally get back into what you were doing each and every time, it just wastes so much time that by eliminating the notifications, you get that time back. All right, so number 2, unsubscribe from newsletters, or at least get them out of your main email account. For me, I gained 3.25 hours per week. Now, I subscribed from newsletters that I haven't read in over a week after receiving it, and others that I read, scan, for professional development, general interest, email ideas. I redirected to another email address, and I just dedicate it for the newsletters. Gmail users can sort and prioritize functions to move newsletters into different folders. So the key is to do this. When I did this, my email decreased to such a point in the main folder that I had to check my email if it was working occasionally. So clearly I had so much going in there that once I actually got rid of it, I felt like I was in email detox, right? So the time I saved from not either stopping to read these emails on the fly or just being disrupted because I saw an email and I had to check it and then I had to go, oh, that's not important, and focus on the project at hand. It was quite significant. So at least 45 minutes per day is what it saved me, which you multiply that out, it's 5.25 hours per week. Now, I did schedule 2 1-hour slots per week to read the articles in the designated newsletter email account, or you may set up a folder. And since I was focused on the reading, I was able to create defined action items from the new knowledge I absorbed. Net time saved, the 5.5 hours saved minus the 2 hours that I scheduled is 3.25 hours. So that is the net time saved, 3.25 hours. So the third item, you're going to set up job search processes and systems to streamline your time. This conservatively will save you 1.25 hours per week. Not having to create networking letters or touch base letters or cover letters or resume customizations or other communications from scratch each and every time will save you at least 1.25 hours per week. For example, if you make 5 resume submissions per week, and each take you 45 minutes to do, which is roughly about 3.75 hours. But if you set up personalized templates of your more frequently used types of documents, now I'm not saying everything needs to be a cut and paste, absolutely not. But there's definitely some ways you start the letter each and every time. So the key is that you're not starting the customization from scratch. So you will easily cut that application time by at least 1/3. So that's 1.25 hours savings. And that's just on one process. If you do this with other processes, every month you want to reach out to 5 people on your network. Have the letter that you reach out to people in a template and then customize it. Every time you want to reach out to somebody, you can reference something from college or something from an old job that you had shared together. But you can start with a framework that you don't have to create from scratch each and every time if you put this in a template. Some other suggested processes that you can create is house your resume as a personal template. Maybe name it your name resume template, right? And then have the sections highlighted in yellow or the font in a different color every time you need to change something. So this way, you have to go to those colored sections, the highlighted sections or the colored font sections, and those are the ones you have to change each time. And this way, once you make all that customization, then save that version of your resume in a resume file named company name, your name, and the job title. Take out the resume template in the title, because then you'll know exactly what resume you sent to what company when that company calls in a couple of weeks or sometimes even a couple of months, especially if it was an exploratory interview type of request that you sent. So you'll always know where to reference back to. And I didn't even include the time savings on the time that you would spend to go find that resume once somebody reaches back out to you. So that's already another time saving. So another process, I'm just trying to give you some ideas here. Another suggested process is to have multiple templates of your personal cover letters created. So something that's more formal, a formal introduction type of letter, a letter that you're going to use for a job posting response, a letter that you're going to use for networking connection, a letter that you're going to use when you're referred by somebody. So again, like the previous suggestion, the key is not to start your customizations from scratch each and every time. It's time consuming and it's just a lot of effort to do it from scratch every time. Have template variations with the common changes you will make. Use either a font color or a font treatment or a highlighting function in Word to bring your eye exactly to the parts that you need to customize each time. So this way it'll save you time. A last idea for a process that you can systematize to save you time is to organize your time and applications with an Excel spreadsheet, your job applications with an Excel spreadsheet, or you can use an application. There's an application called Jibberjobber. You go to jibberjobber.com and it'll help you track, contact dates, contacts made, future actions to take, the documents you sent, and just help you from wasting time looking for things or losing opportunities because you failed to follow up. So that might be a way to keep your calendar separate if you want to keep your career management and job search efforts, the calendaring of that separate from your regular calendar. So that might be an idea as well. So, all right. So number 4, the 4th item is to set up job alerts to have the right jobs forwarded to you. Now, you can do this even if you are a passive candidate or you're not looking at all, right? You just want to stay aware of what's available in your field on the market. The key is not to troll the job boards. Don't sit there and just look for jobs. Don't do that. This is an easy 2-hour-a-week time savings. Easy. Most popular and niche job boards have an alert function. In Google, you can set up Google Alerts, where common searches that you perform for the job openings that pertain to you, you can have those search results sent to you periodically every time there's a new search result that meets your search criteria. So in my opinion, there's really no bigger waste of time than scrolling long lists of job postings, looking for the right jobs in which to apply. You can set up company alerts if you want company news of your target company sent to you, so then you can maybe know to email somebody within a company to capitalize on a situation that happened and see what opportunity you can shake out of the news, essentially. So I would set up alerts, either job alerts or company alerts, alerts on people. If there's certain target people, CEOs of companies or executive leadership in your target companies that you want to make sure you're aware of upcoming situations that they're in the news for, that again might be a segue into a conversation, a networking conversation. But set up these alerts. Don't start trolling and looking and researching all the time. Have that stuff come to you. And lastly, and this is the most important step, in my opinion, you have to prioritize this. Learn how to say no to commitments that are not supporting your ability to create time to manage your career or manage your job search. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about family and keeping the job that you have. Obviously, those are important. However, I know sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, that's why I know it, we hide behind these things in the spirit of good intentions when we could carve out an hour here, or we could say, no, not right now, but let's do that in an hour, or let's do that tomorrow morning. And that will give us the hour without sacrificing the things that are important to us in our lives. So don't hide behind your family. Don't hide behind your work. And certainly don't hide behind volunteer activities and other activities that are really not part of your priority list when you look at the things that are important in your life. And if your search and managing your career to stay ahead of it is important, it needs to be on your calendar. No one will prioritize this for you. No one. Not your spouse, not your coworkers, not your executive coach, not your boss, not your accountability partner, not your manager, not your children, not your friends. No one will prioritize this for you. You need to protect this time and guard it. Guard it with your life. Saying no is the most powerful way to create the time to get this accomplished. If you want to do a job search, you will. If you want to stay ahead of your career and stay connected, so if you need it later on, you will make that time to do so. This is not a time savings exercise type of step per se. But I'm telling you, if your head is focused on the job search, if your head is focused on, I'm going to make 3 new network contacts this week just so I can keep my career in the forefront, you will make time for it. And that saves wasted time by not being focused on your priority. If you're focused on your priority and you say yes to the right activities, you say no to the activities that are not supporting your goal, you have saved so much time there. So that's the key. So there's obviously so many other time-saving type of tactics that you can do. And we didn't even talk about internet usage or social media usage and that type of stuff, all those types, TV and all those types of time sucks. But these, to me, these are something that are really simple. And even if you do one, you will get 2.5 hours back in some cases back. So that's sometimes maybe all you need. So I want to make sure you're ready. Do you think you can do this on your own? Because if you don't feel prepared to do these actions on your own, or you simply want a qualified accountability partner to ensure that you stay the course, then hire us for this personalized guidance. Go to executivejobsecurity.com and invest in our executive job security program to work with our team of career performance coaches that will help you be proactive, take these actions, further advance your career and ensure the continuity in your career. So this way, if you find that you need to find another job, that you're able to do that. And you're able to do that at the level that you're at, if not better. And that to me is job security. It's not staying in one job forever. Executive job security is about employability. It's about always remaining employable and always being able to find the next position when you need it. So the key is not to do this alone and have us help you maximize your performance in this area. The Career Continuity Coaching resource is found at executivejobsecurity.com. And in past episodes, we talked about the only true way to protect yourself from job loss is to pretend you're fired today. Make a list of the activities you would do to find your next job and do it when you don't need a job. Do it now. This is the key element in the Pretend You're Fired Today action list, is to keep your network primed and active so you stay in the forefront of your network's mind and you are always creating demand for yourself consistently. That is the true executive job security, is to be in demand when you need it so you can land another position when you need it. But you need to create that demand before you need it. This way, if your job search situation changes unexpectedly, you already have pent up demand for what you do by doing these actions that I showed, that we've been talking about in the past few episodes, but doing them with the time you're creating from the actions that I showed you here today. So for the next few episodes of the Pretend You're Fired Today podcast, we're going to continue to go through a list of tactics and activities that you can do now as if you were let go today, and ensure that you are always employable, you are always ready for whatever the world brings your way. The first item on the Pretend You're Fired Today action list was doing your resume, and we cover that in episodes 1 through 8. And the second item on that list was updating your LinkedIn profile, which you can review how to do in episodes 9 through 12. And in the last 24 or so episodes, we've covered a myriad of topics such as how to work with recruiters, how to handle the culture fit interview question, how to handle that infamous, aren't you overqualified for this job question. So we are going to want to revisit those episodes. I'm so proud of you taking these steps to making yourself marketable when you don't really quite need it. Most people wait for that unexpected job change to happen and then learn this information. So kudos to you for learning it now and doing it before you need it. This will help you stay employable. Again, job security doesn't reside in one job. Job security resides in the ability to find another position quickly without sacrificing what you have. My friend saved me with her priceless advice, Pretend You're Fired Today, and I'm paying it forward with you. And I ask you to pay this sentiment forward, share with this information with as many executives and rising professionals who you know would benefit from this build it before you need it advice. It's so important in this tumultuous economy that we have. One day it's really high, one day it's really low, and you just never know where it's going to go. The key is that you just always know that you're going to be taken care of because you are taking care of yourself. Doing the preparation suggested in this episode will help you create a minimum of 9 hours per week to focus on maintaining your network, advancing your career, and doing an active job search if that's your path. And in the next episode, we are going to discuss how to self-promote with grace. One of the biggest complaints or challenges that I hear from executives and professionals is they don't want to come across like they're bragging when talking about themselves and their accomplishments. So I'm going to show you how to promote yourself with grace. You will not want to miss this next episode. So this way you can make the time to take these proactive steps. I want you to make sure that you always are able to land your next role, especially if you're currently working. You don't want to lose what you have. And learning how to promote yourself with grace will help this. So in the interim, if you want personalized coaching for your career to help you get past any particular area that we've discussed recently or in the past, go to executivejobsecurity.com and hire us to help you directly with your next interview or with your next performance review or to how to maintain your career management. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode, and be well.
This is the podcastfactory.com.